Hello. Welcome back.
We're at the house. There's a woman with an apron. Why is there a woman with an apron? Who knows?
It's probably just the corpse of one of the servants she killed.
Oh, she couldn't kill
She's
servants.
just pinned her up against the front door.
She couldn't kill that many people. She's incapable.
I disagree.
She's
I
not
reckon
competent.
Shion is capable of many things.
I disagree.
Such as leaving
Thoroughly.
Keiichi in crisis.
She can do that, that's for sure.
We've just
She
had
leave
to-
this damn show in crisis.
We just had to take like a 15-minute break just because
Dude,
we were fucking howling about that.
I need to just like lie down for like a day and contemplate that line.
It's so good.
Poor Keiichi being left in a state of crisis.
It's so good. Arc 2 is retroactively my favorite arc.
Fuck off. It's not. Get out of here.
Just the way this is being recontextualized is gorgeous.
It's ridiculous.
I'm having a blast.
I'm glad you are. I'm having fun too. I am looking forward to seeing the comments, honestly. I'm looking forward to that.
Alright, when I returned to the Sonozaki house, I saw a woman with an apron on.
Good.
It was a housekeeper. She was dead, pinned up against the... her name was
No.
Shimiko-san. The hag had a few housekeepers who took care of the chores around the house.
I guess I'll play this.
I guess you will.
Alright. I don't have enough voices for this. Oh, Mihan-chan, I'm glad you're here.
Shimiko-san, can I help you? Today was her turn to come and help out at the house. She'd arrived, but the gate was locked and she couldn't get in. She'd called, but there was no answer, so she'd been standing there not knowing what to do. Something must have happened to Granny at the festival. She's been in an evil mood ever since last night.
Oh, I see.
Shimiko-san tried to remember if she had done something wrong. She isn't ignoring you, she's just sleeping. She was up until very late, so I bet she can't even wake up yet. Okay, pause for effect. She's been in a terrible mood. She's also been asleep the whole time.
Yeah, she's
Now,
also not awake.
Whilst both of these things are probably true, it's a very, very terrible way to phrase it if you're trying to not be suspicious.
Yeah. Shion's just spitballing things one after the other.
It's like if some
The dog ran away. I wasn't asleep. I wasn't drunk. That's the line.
Yeah, it's like if some dude who wrote a play came on a show and said there are 3 characters and then one of them goes missing and then the 3 of them go look for him.
Dude, that'd be a crazy line.
That'd
That
be
doesn't
a
make any
crazy
sense.
line. It doesn't make any
I would
sense.
not even comment on that. I would just let it pass and be like, what? And then I just keep moving.
I think so. I think you would.
Do you think this video will be out by the time that video that
What do you mean? It's coming out like in 2 days. This video is in a month.
Oh my god, you're right. this is a flashback, get on track, don't fall on your back kind of situation.
Tell us in the comments if you know exactly what we're referencing.
This is the problem. We're supposed to be advertising things, but it's just, do you know what we're talking about?
Stop. If you know what it is, tell us, and then tell us who you want to give how many points.
Okay.
And we'll consider it.
What's the rule there?
What?
We'll consider it? You know what? That's fine. That's basically this whole point system in the first place.
If someone answers correctly and says they want to give 40,000 points to Ryukishi,
then we say
what do
yes.
I do?
Fuck it.
Do I just give him 40,000 points?
Why not? Why wouldn't you give 40,000
You know
points?
what? Fine. Maybe I will. But I'll have to consider it first.
Fucking hell. I veto this. I veto this plan.
Death of the Reader, Sunday nights at 9 p.m.
To OCR107.3.
.com.
.com.
No 107.3 in the...
To OCR.com.
That's the one.
It's 107.3 if you're in Sydney. Otherwise, go to the website.
Or just on YouTube.
Just go to YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's pretty good. If you go to YouTube, it's all there. It's like a big old playlist.
Big whole playlist.
Anyway, this has been Death of the Reader.
Thanks for joining us.
Bye.
Next time. She isn't ignoring you. She's just sleeping. I bet she can't wake up yet. You know how she is, right? Dead.
She's okay.
Once she gets into this dead, it'll take a long time for her to be alive again.
It's true. Oh, yes, that's too bad.
I think it might be better that you don't show up for a while. Even if you don't mean to upset her, Granny might take the wrong way.
Don't check in on her well-being.
Just let me take care of it.
Oh, I see. Are you sure? I'm very grateful, though, to not have to work.
Sorry to make you do this, but could you let the other housekeepers know that they don't need to come for a while either? When Granny feels better, I'll give you a call. So let's just leave her alone for now. Shimiko-san bowed, then left on her bicycle.
I like that I gave her old lady voice, and she's like on a bike. It's amazing. I like the visual there. She's just a really fit grandma.
I do wonder if this is like something that's actually happened before, and they're all just like, oh yeah, it's just her again.
She just falls asleep and is in a bad mood. She's sleep talking.
Oreo,
you
night terrors.
dip her in some milk or something, and she'll feel better.
Yes, that is how you satiate old people. You just
That's it. You dip them in milk. That's how you satiate the Oreos. You dip them in milk.
I finally got the joke. Oh, I am embarrassed it took that.
Hey! You better not edit that out. I got you for once. One joke that took you moments to guess the reason for it being in there. Oh, I'm so happy. 10 points to Gryffindor.
All right, I guess Higurashi can have 10 points.
No, he's not. Why are we not Gryffindor?
We're Slytherin, obviously. We're a bunch of silver-tongued snakes.
I mean, you're right.
Bending this story to our will.
Is Gryffindor known for storytelling? Wouldn't that be more like Hufflepuff? I don't actually know.
I don't know. I just have to give Higurashi points because you abused me.
Is that what? What? What is the foundation of these points? What is the points? What's she on about? Oreo, more like, I don't know.
Anyone who had ever experienced Granny's wrath would understand.
You know what? You deserve those points.
Anyone who experienced Jacrono's wrath would understand.
You
I headed into Mion's room, set her alarm for
You're a big $2,000 teddy bear.
for 2 p.m. and crawled into her bed. I need to recover quickly. I had to be sharp, calm, and cool-headed.
Yeah.
School should be out by 2 p.m. Maybe I'd get in touch with Keiichi. I'd have to call him. There would also be a staff meeting at the Frude Shrine Assembly Hall in the evening. All the leaders of the 3 families, their relatives, and the town council members would gather at this meeting.
That's a lot of characters.
They were all authority figures in Hinamizawa. I'd be attending in place of the hag, who is sick.
That's only one character.
I'd worry about the rest when I got there.
That's like a lot more.
People shouldn't notice that Mion and the hag were missing for a long time.
It's only 2.
I didn't need to worry, as I had plenty of time. I checked the alarm once more, then fell asleep as if someone switched me off.
Dream sequence?
I hope so.
We're just gonna skip a bunch of time.
It's a phone call.
Who could it be?
Hello? Oh, this is Sonozaki. Well, the younger one. Hello. Do you have time to talk right now?
Shion, I thought you'd be sleeping in today with a hangover, same as Mion.
What? Mrs. had a hangover? It's so like her. Keiichi had no idea that the Mion he saw earlier was actually me. He didn't notice when we talked in person, so there's no way he'd notice on the phone. I never knew that playing 2 roles would be so much fun. To feel such enjoyment in this game of life or death. Maybe I was getting used to the
Oh
situation.
my god, she's so dramatic!
Maybe my senses had gone numb.
Sorry. My parents are waiting for an important call, so I can't talk for too long. What do you need?
There's something I wanted to talk about, but if we can't talk long, I guess that's that.
Then how about we meet in person? If you could show me where the library is too, that'd be great.
You mean the public library near the station? Yeah, that's fine. I go past there on my way to work anyway. We decided to meet in Akinamiya. It wasn't easy to get there from Hinamizawa, but I had to hurry. I couldn't run into Keiichi as he was heading there himself. I recalled the key to the hag's motorcycle was in her secret drawer.
Wait, the hag's motorcycle?
Holy shit!
Oh, lady has a motorcycle?
I told you, Orio's running around the village with a katana, killing people herself. She is Knight Rider.
Dude.
Ghost Rider, rather. Wrong one.
Knight Rider 2.
Wrong shitty
She
show.
can be a talking car.
That's it, that's canon. Oreo is a talking car that rides a motorcycle.
Make that art. Somebody make that a dream come true.
I recalled that the key to the hag's motorcycle was in her secret drawer.
The secret drawer.
The hag usually got driven around for public events, but when she had her own errands, she rode her motorcycle.
Yep.
Keiichi, I assume, was going to ride his bicycle. I tried to get to Akinamiya before he did.
The question is it like a motorcycle-sized car? And by that I mean it's big enough that a motorcycle can fit inside of it? Or does the motorcycle just kind of sit with its front wheel in the seat?
I don't want to answer this. I want artistic vision.
I know! I'm just looking to inspire the youth. And the non-youth, everybody. Everybody with an artistic soul out there. You feel me?
Open opportunity bad joke.
Open opportunity bad meme.
Keiichi arrived quite a bit later than me.
Oh no.
Motorcycles are faster after all. There were hardly any traffic lights to worry about on the way here either.
Oh, wow, Mia never keeps her appointments, I mean, honestly.
Making my sister the standard for everything will get you in trouble.
Wow, well, shade.
You're a little unsteady. You were drinking last night too, weren't you? Don't try to hide it. You definitely went home from school early.
Too bad. I've been at home all day from the beginning. I'm smarter than my sis, after all.
Hey now, I don't think you can call playing hooky smarter.
You should finish your errand first. We don't have that much time. You're going to the library, right?
Yeah, thanks. My mom had to return some books by today. Is the library far?
No, it's right nearby. I meant it when I said we didn't have much time. I had to hurry a little. I was just going to talk to him on the phone, but I ended up coming all the way to Kinomiya. After our talk, Keiichi would slowly head back to Hinamizawa on his bicycle. I'd have to rush back there while making sure I didn't run into him. Otherwise, I couldn't make it on time for the meeting.
Oh, boys.
Maybe I could be a little late, but since I needed to hear everything they were going to discuss, I didn't want to be. This was the Shishibone Public Library. It was sizable, filled with a collection of moldy, smelly books, but it did have air conditioning and it was quiet. It was the perfect place for when you wanted to be alone, or accosted by a creepy lady with blonde hair and far too many notebooks.
That would never happen.
After Satoshi couldn't disappear last year, I came here a lot to think about various things. This was where I first met Takano-san. Speak of the devil. I didn't want to run into her with Keiichi in tow, but then I remembered that she was already dead.
Rip.
Poor Takano.
And now we'll never see her in a nurse outfit. It's very sad.
Good.
Why good?
It's good.
You don't like nurse outfits? You're not a fan?
Banned. Bad idea. You know what the Japanese do with those things.
I don't.
Oh, good.
Okay, fair enough.
Don't find out when you're older.
What? What does that even mean?
It's dangerous.
Okay, I want to look it up then on my phone.
You don't know how many friends have
I
been
wanna
turned into
look it up.
weebs by those outfits.
Dude, I'm already a weeb. I can't get any worse.
That's untrue.
What? You saying I'm not a weeb?
No, that's not what I said.
Wait, what are you saying is untrue?
Is that you can get worse. It is possible for you to get worse.
It's true. It's true. I could start wearing anime t-shirts with references to popular shows.
Man, I hate it when people enjoy things.
I hate it too. Shout out to the villain in glasses. That's a good t-shirt. Go find that. I don't think there's any of them left though. They were a limited run on Crunchyroll.
You reckon
like
that's
3 years ago?
That's just how people identify you in public? Like
As the villain in glasses?
Most people get identified by the face. Everyone's just looking for that one shirt that only one person bought, and it's you.
The villain in glasses shirt is fantastic. I wish it wasn't all torn to shreds, but you know, that's fine. I wear it occasionally.
This is why you just have to buy a t-shirt company and make your own shirts.
Dude, I wish. I tried to do t-shirt shopping the other day. I could not buy. I bought one t-shirt. It was like a picture of a car. And it was like a red car on a black background. And then when I got home, I was like, this is dumb.
Oh.
I hate t-shirts. Buy me t-shirts.
Such a sad story.
Somebody. Look, I'm not good at clothes shopping, although I did buy shoes and jeans.
This is the tragedy.
Those are
of Ben.
easy. The tragedy of Ben the Wise. Right? That's what it is. It's Ben the Wise? Megas the Wise.
It's a W, but
Megas
it's not
the
wise.
Wise. What?
I said it's a W, but it's not wise.
The winner?
No.
Wondrous.
No.
Wonderful.
No.
Woke.
No.
We're getting closer though.
No.
Unique.
No.
Woonique.
No.
I'm out of words.
Oh.
Leave your answer in the comments. What word do you think Felix was trying to get at?
No. The first floor of the building was occupied by government offices. The library itself was on the second floor, so we had to walk up a huge staircase to get there. I tasted cool air on my skin as soon as I walked through the automated door.
Well, that's nice.
Unlike outside,
It's that lady! She's still here.
very quiet in here. Just except for that one guy in the corner in the villain in glasses t-shirt.
Yo!
Won't fucking shut up.
She just walked in the door. She running a party in the library.
I really wonder if the person who just walked in the door of the house behind us thinks that we're shouting at them walking in the door.
He's hoping.
Here's hoping.
So they come in, they're like, what are you doing in here?
What are you doing?
Then
in
we have
here?
a guest on the show.
Oh my god.
Maybe it's that woman in the photo.
We never have guests on the show.
We never. We never have. I've never
have.
seen it.
Not
I've never,
once.
not even once.
Not a single time.
I've never seen it. Not even once. Oh,
Unlike outside, it was very quiet in here. The temperature was both comfortable and suitable for books. I could smell the scent of old pages.
it's like pretty smelly, dude.
All libraries smell the same.
Quit! Can't you not whisper?
You're right, he would be the loud one.
You're right.
Let me redo that
You'd be
line.
the me.
All libraries smell the same.
Damn right. That's what I'd say.
Keiichi walked up to the return table after he said so. Because it was a weekday, there was hardly anyone around. It was very quiet. I was going to chat about some ordinary things, and then move on to the main subject. After Keiichi returned the books, I invited him to the intersection of the library.
Keiichi knew Mion well, but he didn't know me at all. He showed an interest in our life story. This was exactly where Takano-san told me about the true history of Hinamizawa a year ago. I was about to tell Keiichi about things that were very similar to that. Did God have a sense of irony?
Was God one of us?
You were the one that agreed to come here.
What?
No, like Shion, not you, Ben.
I was gonna say, I didn't agree to be here.
I know.
I was just stuck in your car. I was like, take me home, and you wouldn't take me home.
That's exactly right.
It's true.
Now that you mention it, that toy store looked like it was managed by relatives as well. Does that mean they operate Angel Mart too? I told him the reason why the Sonozaki family was so powerful in this area. I assumed that since Keiichi came from the city, there was a good chance he couldn't even begin to understand how one old family could literally control an entire area. Unless I explained to him how powerful the Sonozaki family was, he wouldn't understand what kind of danger was barreling toward him.
In a literal barrel. We cut from this dialogue to a barrel just rolling down a hill.
I see. Keiichi does look like Mario from the original Donkey Kong game.
In fact, inside Oil Drum with Takano's body in it, it's coming for him. That's it.
Fucking Nintendo was so ahead of the curve. They were making Higurashi fan fiction before Higurashi.
Before the Higurashi fanfic has even got a hold of Takano and her Oil Drum. What does that even mean?
I don't.
Keep going.
The family is particularly strong in finance and real estate.
Send your fan art too.
Even a lot of members of the Chambers of Commerce and Industry have either the last name Sonozaki or their relatives. There are Sonozakis in the city council and the prefectural assembly too, since they have the Akinomiya area giving them strong electoral support.
Wait a minute. This is all escalating pretty quickly. Your relatives operate shops in downtown Akinomiya, and they're especially strong in finance and real estate. On top of that, a lot of people in the Chamber of Commerce and Industry are relatives, and there are even some elected to local offices. Sorry, that was your line, not mine. Fuck. Can we do the scene? I read the long line in the script.
What?
Can we do the scene again?
What?
I read her line.
It's too late. We gotta keep that take. We only got enough money for one take. Rest of us spent on the donuts and those outfits.
This is the digital age.
Why do you want these anyway? Because we have to. Because that's what the corporate mandated us to use. That's what we're gonna use.
Keiichi, just roll with the scene. He repeats himself constantly anyways.
And hold this donut while you do.
I have artistic integrity to maintain.
No, none of that. Just do the scene.
Hope you enjoy your strawberry donut, mister. There you go.
Thank you. All right, what was the next line? What was my line?
Keiichi counted with his fingers.
Okay, I got it from there.
Wait, that's not your line.
Oh, is it her line? Is my line?
It's her line. Yep, you gotta step in the spotlight there, miss.
Alright.
The camera won't be able to see you, but you gotta step in it anyway.
Okay, thank you.
So we know who's talking.
Keiichi counted with his fingers. He was clearly surprised to hear all that about the Sonozaki family. It seemed he was flexible enough to accept even something that sounded outrageous to him. He was starting to understand things, although slowly. The way he viewed Shion Sonozaki was changing a little by little too. That should be enough background information. Now I could go on to explain about Mion Sonozaki, the successor.
Well, at least we're not getting this line by line, which is good.
I agree. Then I changed the subject like Takano-san did with me. I'd go on to talk about the curse of Oyashiro-sama and then the series of mysterious deaths.
So then, the Sonozaki family is pretty famous in this area?
Num num.
Ah!
I was just waiting for the cue. Here we are, friends. Yep. It is your line. Well, it's my line, but you need to give me script. Crazy, isn't it? No,
A fat man with a cigarette suddenly cut into our conversation.
Fucking rude, am I right? Yes, it is Oishi, bitches.
Oishi? Why was he here?
He's best boy.
In the town that he works as a police officer.
Why is he investigating crime? What kind of sorcery is that, Oishi?
Why was he here?
Hello! Good afternoon. Are you on a date today?
I was really hoping that was gonna be.
Are you
Shion
on a
asking that
date
of Keiichi
today? I wish if I were on a date with this strapping young man, what I would give to be young again.
If you thought we were on a date, then why are you bothering us? Oishi-san?
Because it is fun.
What timing? Oh, it couldn't be a coincidence. I knew this man too well. He was crafty, sly, and clever. His presence here just can't be a coincidence. Did he see us somewhere in town and follow us? But why? Did he need something from me, Kei-chan, or perhaps the both of us? From what I could guess, I didn't think it was me that he wanted something from. It It's almost like he was trying to keep Keiichi away from me. Uishi was aware I gave false testimony to protect Satoshi-kun last year. Maybe he didn't think he could talk to Keiichi if I was around. Why did Uishi need to talk to Keiichi? Must be about the incident from yesterday. I'm sure there were plenty of plainclothes officers at the festival, so they had to have seen who was lost with the victims. In other words, Keiichi and me. Uishi knew I was hard to deal with. That was why he was focusing on Keiichi at present. Why did he have to show up at a time like this?
My son, right? You are one tough guy. Two-timing the Sonozaki sisters, are you?
What? No, I'm not two-timing anyone.
Keiichi looked at me hoping for assistance. He blushed. The way he panicked reminded me of Satoshi. That aside, this wasn't going well.
That's fine.
Uishi might even start talking about my relationship with Satoshi-kun.
But we have to save that reveal for a later day.
I didn't want him to, nor did I want Keiichi to have any preconceptions. Uishi took a quick glance at me. His eyes told me something. He was purposefully talking about things I'd rather not talk about. He was basically telling me to leave, or he'd continue on to something that was worse than what they were currently talking about.
Am I going to get any more lines?
I'm just wondering whether this is Shion saying, I think that Uishi is going to do this, so I have to leave, or whether it's saying that Uishi is telling me I have to leave. Because I feel like you could take it either way, and I feel as though the difference is very significant.
Yeah, well.
He didn't use words, but his eyes clearly communicated that anyway. Damn that big fat weasel.
Wow. This is why Shion is worst girl.
That's untrue.
You can't insult Uishi. Shion. Get out.
Got him. Sorry, Kei-chan, I really do need to get to my job.
Huh? Oh, you do?
I realized I wouldn't achieve anything like this even if I stayed longer, so I used my part-time job as an excuse to leave. Uishi looked at me and grinned. Damn it. You won today, but I'll win next time.
You can't beat Uishi. It doesn't happen.
Wait, didn't you have something to talk about today, Shion?
Yeah, I'll see you later. I'll give you a call after I'm done. It'll be okay to call at night, right?
Yeah. Probably okay.
I'll talk to you later tonight. Bye.
Am I not going to get any more lines?
That's the,
I was so happy. Worst arc.
the last we ever saw of Uishi.
Objectively worst arc. That might actually be it. Now that I think about it.
It's alright. We won't get tips yet. Because it's not always true, despite what
So
people
sad.
keep trying to tell me.
It's not always. Sometimes it's more.
Sometimes it is more, such as right now when it's been 3.
It's true.
It might even be 4 this time. The hag's motorcycle had become my primary means of transportation. My next... Did you know I can't ride a motorcycle?
I didn't know that.
That's
but
not,
like,
not
what do
to
you mean?
say that I'm incompetent, but
You
that
still have a
I'm
license for it.
incapable.
You just have a license for it.
No, because you know
do you
how
mean?
you use the throttle with your hand.
Yeah.
I get carpal tunnel, can't actually use it.
What?
Yep.
It's insane.
True fact.
I've never heard of that in my life.
Really?
Oh. No, I haven't. I don't know why that would be a thing. You get carpal tunnel, what, from all the mouse using? You have carpal tunnel, so you can't... How's that work? Explain that to me.
This is genetic.
This is a genetic thing.
You know what a carpal tunnel is?
I know what a carpal tunnel is. Usually I hear it said about, like, you shouldn't use your mouse all day because you got your fingers, like, curved, and so you'll get carpal tunnel.
No. It can be a genetic
Tell
thing.
me about it. Tell me.
It's a channel basically that
Right.
a bunch of nerves go through and gets a bit pinchy if your genetics have put it in the wrong way, which
Oh, no.
they have for me.
Well, it sucks.
It does.
Oh, well.
I found this out while riding a quad bike.
Oh.
And it was a very bad experience.
Do you have... Does any of your other family have that sort of thing? Or is that, like, too weird?
It's my dad.
Okay.
I got it from that side of the family.
Fair enough.
There you go.
Well, that's fun. I'm glad you shared that with us. I don't have anything like that, I don't think.
Okay.
Nothing quite so damaging. But you can drive a car.
I've just been thinking a lot about the convenience of motorcycles lately, and I was
Dude.
oh yeah, I can't get one of them.
I would love to drive a motorcycle. I'm saying video games, even the choice between a slick, beautiful motorcycle and a big clunky car, take the motorcycle. Because then you can dive between the cars
Nah.
on the opposite side of the road.
Motorcycles sound like a terrible idea.
They're very dangerous.
I have a bunch of very gruesome stories from my friends who are keen motorcyclists.
Do you have a good one? You want to tell one?
I mean, how much do you want the mood to be dampened?
Okay, maybe another time. Maybe when things are really dark and awful, I'll be like, yo, what about that motorcycle story?
Pretty much.
Oh, God.
My next stop was the staff meeting at the Furude Shrine's assembly hall. It was easy to imagine how a normal meeting would play out if it were just celebrating the end of Watanagashi. But today's staff meeting was likely going to be as strained as the Sonozaki family councils. Yeah, the staff meeting was going to deal with the heart of Hinamizawa. I couldn't let my guard down even for a moment.
The black, corrupted heart of Hinamizawa.
I rested for a while at the house, then left for the meeting.
Rotted and covered in cicadas for some reason.
I walked up the long stairs to the Furude Shrine.
The rotted stairs.
At the top, I saw some elderly men smoking in front of the hall. Since they had a minor fire a long time ago, it had been made into a non-smoking area.
Oh, is that Mion-chan? Oh, it's this guy, so I was pretty close with the voice anyway.
It's alright.
Oh, I've got
No
this.
one will notice.
Oh, is that Mion-chan?
The head of the Kimiyoshi family, Uncle Kimiyoshi, noticed me and waved. He must not have expected Mion to come alone. Normally it would have been either the hag by herself or Mion tagging along as an assistant. Granny's been in a terrible mood since the incident last night. She's been staying in bed and won't even let me get near her. They all understood how troublesome she was when in a bad mood. They smiled bitterly in sympathy.
So you're here as the Sonozaki family representative then? Oh, has Oreo-san told you anything?
Sort of.
Oh,
What did he mean, has Oreo-san told you anything? That line by itself didn't really explain much. The staff meeting was usually led by the mayor, the head of the Kimiyoshi family. And he'd asked me as the substitute for the Sonozaki family head if I'd heard anything from her. Then I realized who was supposed to lead today's staff meeting. Kimiyoshi-san, do I really have to lead the meeting today? According to the ranking order at the family councils, any substitute for the Sonozaki family head is above the Kimiyoshi family head.
there you go.
In other words, I'd have to lead today's meeting. There was no way I could do that.
Don't worry, I'll do it. You can just take a seat, Mion-chan. If there's something you've heard from Oreo-san, just let us know, okay?
Kimiyoshi-san, why don't we get started? Everyone's here now.
What?
The smokers put out their cigarettes and went back into the hall. The tables were set in a horseshoe shape, and I was told to sit next to the chair reserved for the chief. The seat opposite mine was empty. Considering its location, it was probably for the Furude family head, Rika Furude. But somebody had said earlier that everybody was already here. Either Rika-chama had called in absent, or the empty seat was just a formality. Knowing the subject of this meeting, I don't think that the Furude family head would even want to attend. Even if Rika-chama actually attended, she wouldn't be able to say anything. All she'd usually do at the Sonozaki family councils was draw pictures on a notepad. She would probably end up drawing pictures in this meeting too. Besides, they probably didn't want her to hear anything unpleasant. In this way, the empty Furude family seat was easily explained. When everyone was seated, the head of the Women's Association served tea. I'm just imagining that Rika's just here and just invisible.
Dude, she's just like,
Fucking
she's just
superpowered Rika.
She's just standing in the doorway and nobody knows.
As soon as we see a floating notepad just fly across the screen.
Fucking grab it. Check if there's a wire on it.
Okay, I will.
Good, thank you.
She gave me an evil look, trying to tell me to help out. I got up and did so. After that, everyone fell quiet and the secretary stood up.
Everyone, thank you for coming today on such a short notice despite your busy schedules. Let's start with a few words from the mayor. Go ahead, please. Please excuse me for staying seated. Ken-chan, you stay seated too. Oh, thank you all for coming today. Also, you all did a great job at the Watanagashi yesterday. The festival was a great success. As usual, there weren't any mishaps.
Weren't there?
There were no mistakes. Nothing went wrong. Rika-chan did her dance perfectly. Lots of villagers came, and I believe it went great on the whole. Let me see, how many people was it? According to the Imperial General Headquarters report, approximately 5,000 people showed up.
Everyone laughed except me.
I hope we'll continue to work together to carry on this tradition. I appreciate your cooperation. Clap, clap, clap.
Applause, applause.
There you go.
If only there was an applause sound effect we could
If
play.
only.
An applause with only 8 people doesn't sound so great.
Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Oh, what? Who's talking?
It's the secretary,
Oh
obviously.
my god! Oh!
Take a point.
Oh! We get a point for that?
Yes, because you couldn't
Okay.
tell.
Okay, let's move on to today's proceedings. Kimiyoshi-san will lead the meeting today.
As we all know, we very strictly follow the rules.
We do! That's the whole foundation of it. Grab it! Get it!
We got it. Okay.
Oh, thank God.
I guess she is in here.
Oh,
no
watch
wire.
out.
I've checked.
Okay, thank God. That means we're dealing with a spirit Rika.
Oh my God.
A spirika, if you must.
Whew.
And I do must.
Good thing we caught that.
Yeah, we'd be in a lot of trouble otherwise. Rika would have gotten away with it. And went for us and our dog,
Yes?
Sparky.
Right.
He's the one who sniffed it out, following his lead. Please applaud if you approve.
Is that a Japanese thing?
Please applaud if you approve.
That's-
You heard the woman. Applaud!
That sounds so uncomfortable.
Applaud!
Ben, I agree with you.
Thank you. Thank you. I agree with me too. What's that? Is that sarcastic clapping? Or is that like
You know how you-
school kid assembly hall clapping?
Yeah, it's like
because
school
that's
kid-
what that sounded like to me.
Yeah, when there's that one kid who
When
just
everyone's-
goes on
yeah.
slightly too long.
That's usually me.
Yeah. I feel
It's
like
fun.
this is just a recipe for
It's
this.
just fun.
You were always the problem whenever I was giving speeches.
Dude!
I'd tell a bad joke and there'd always be one person who'd clap
Woo!
for a joke too.
You did it! That's me in the back.
What's even worse is when people clap for a joke instead of laughing. I hate that.
Oh my goodness, that's the worst. Because then you don't even know.
If
probably not
it's
even-
like
it's
they've
being
laughed
polite.
so hard that their hands are flailing and they just happen to clap while they're going, that's fine.
I've never seen that. It sounds amazing though. Isn't that what dolphins do? Isn't that their thing?
Don't you give speeches to dolphins?
Not regularly, but I'd like to.
Okay.
Could you set me up with your people? Maybe we can do
Yeah,
a little,
I'll sort you
get
out,
the,
sort you out, sort you out.
Dolphin Academy going, you know. Clap, clap, clap.
Thank you.
Oh. Then with your approval, Mayor Kimiyoshi will take over. Please, go ahead. Oh, thank you, Ken-chan. Let's start now. Oh, sorry, could you close the curtains?
Fucking draws a machine gun. You all know why I've brought you here today.
My bum hurts so much, and now you must share in my pain by dying.
Oh yeah, that is what happens.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for
I
reminding
just
me.
wanted to remind you, because it's a very important clue to this mystery. It's very relevant to the core narrative
Carry
of
on.
Keiichi.
Carry-
It's your turn. It's your line.
Everyone closed the curtains nearest to them.
Thank you.
The sun was still up, but with all the curtains closed, the room became very dark. That
And I
is what
saw the
curtains do.
glistening of metal as the machine gun was brought out of the boot of the car.
Why is there car inside?
Because then
this?
you have to dive in front of it
Right.
to like save your mentor because he's gonna kill himself, and it's
Of course, of course.
that one show that everybody loved.
Yes, the village chief explained the details of the incident as well as what went on with the police.
If you know what I'm referencing, leave it in the comments.
Police vehicle discovered Tomotaki's
Flash.
body on its way back to Akinomiya last night.
Big ass flash.
Higurashi's special curse unit was standing by, expecting
Curse.
something to happen for the 5th time, so they responded
It's
quickly.
a great name. The Curse Units.
Since
Deploy the Curse Units.
My favorite unit.
Yeah.
Since Tomotaki's-san and Takano-san were rarely apart, Uishi got in touch with the neighboring prefectural police departments and asked them to look for her. As a result, they found a burned body of a woman in the mountains of the Gifu prefecture. The body was then identified as Mio Takano.
Rip.
Considering the circumstances, the police ended up labeling the incident as the 5th of the ongoing series of mysterious deaths. When he finished, there was a dead silence. I watched to see who would speak first. Nobody said a thing. Then I noticed Kimiyoshi-san looking at me. This was where the head of the Sonozaki family would speak.
Mion-chan, has Oryo-san said anything about this whole thing?
Yes, she said something along the lines of...
Oh, no!
Everyone looked in my direction. I was sure they could see the hag in me. I'm Mion Sonozaki, acting head of the Sonozaki family.
Damn.
I'm here in place of Oryo, the current head, she said to all of the people who've never met her before.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. Mm-hmm. I became Mion.
She's done it. She figured out
tried
how to become Mion.
As cold and unfeeling as the Mion I witnessed a year ago.
There you go.
That cold version of Mion was inside me. That was me. I was her.
Damn. It's pretty
And
deep.
everyone was very confused as to why I was introducing myself. Unfortunately, the curse of Oyashiro-sama has come to pass for the 5th time. This is deeply regretful. Everyone was held captive by confusion at why I'd introduced myself. I wasn't a little girl anymore.
Oh, God.
The hag was speaking through my mouth.
Wait, are you the hag or are you Mion?
They all heard me and trembled in confusion.
Are they all the same person?
and why I'd introduced myself.
I'm confused.
Yeah, I know, it's really confusing. Why did she introduce herself?
It's great.
Does anyone know why the curse happened again this year? After my question, everyone whispered to each other. I will tell you. It was because they broke the rule of the ritual storehouse and desecrated the sacred ground within.
How dare they?
A few elderly men got up and yelled.
And they shook their sticks. The fools! I can't believe this. They deserve to be killed. Higurashi, please calm your anger.
Man, imagine being that overprotective about a shed.
Dude, it's a shed. Okay, it's very important. That's what my dad like. I probably shouldn't say that. Cut that. He keeps something in there. Oh my, how did that happen? Higurashi. This is why we hate the outsiders.
Got him.
They just don't think. They're just too stupid. They got what they deserved. It was their own fault.
The angry old men yelled even as they trembled in fear.
And confusion.
Their sudden change scared me more than a little. Even Uncle Kiyoshi, who was usually so gentle and sweet, became like a demon of war, cursing those who broke the rule of the ritual storehouse. It had become like a raging ocean inside the assembly hall. Their yells spun about like a whirlpool. They roared, crashed, and howled.
Damn.
Even while doing nothing but watch, I could feel myself turning pale. Neon threatened me yesterday, and Kasai had been shocked since this morning. What I saw before me was similar to that. Even the sweet and gentle Uncle Kiyoshi was saying they deserved to die.
Damn!
I was fearful of the sudden change in those elderly men. More than anything, the fact they'd all believed that those people deserved to die for trespassing is what terrified me. It wasn't just that, of course. The real thing I was scared of was that I was one of the people they wanted to be dead. In other words, it was almost like they were telling me to die of the curse. If they were to find out I snuck into the ritual storehouse, it was very possible they would strangle me on the spot. Actually, they might not kill me that easily. By then, I was certain the people in this room were true believers in Oyashiro-sama, just like the hag. They wouldn't hesitate to murder whoever made Oyashiro-sama angry on his behalf. Even if they didn't carry out the killings themselves, they would pretend they didn't see anything. Yes, not even if my head was cut off right in front of them. Everyone here would act in collusion and say I never attended today. If they all testified that, they waited. If they all testified that they waited and I didn't show, I'd be demoned away. It would be far too easy for them to erase someone and have them disappear. There was no mistake. The people linking the hag and the curse were definitely here at this meeting. I continued speaking. I was Mion Sonozaki. I was on the side responsible for the curse. Therefore, at that moment, I didn't need to worry about anything. Nobody could tell the difference between Mion and me. That's what would keep me safe. Please be silent.
Hey, quiet down.
Uncle Kiyoshi helped me to quiet everybody, but his tone was violent. He really scared me.
You're damn right. You better be quiet, you damn kids. And old people.
Everybody gradually became silent. In fact, it was 4 people who snuck into the storehouse.
Uh-oh.
2 more remain. People once more became restless upon hearing that, but Uncle Kiyoshi yelled at them again and they settled down. Tomataki-san and Takano-san were old enough to be made responsible for their own poor judgment. As a result, the curse of Oyashiro-sama fell upon them immediately. But the other 2 were simply children. The curse has yet to fall upon them, but there will be some kind of punishment. Everyone stayed quiet that time. They had all turned genuinely pale, trying not to miss a word I said. After all, they were all thinking that the kids I mentioned could be their own relatives, or even grandchildren. They wanted to know who they were to put their minds at ease. The other 2 who snuck into the ritual storehouse were Shion Sonozaki and Keiichi Maebara. I could feel the air getting drier. It was so dry it almost felt like it was going to start making a crackling noise. Shion Sonozaki has already... I couldn't even hear the old people breathe. I took a peek at Uncle Kiyoshi, who was sitting next to me. He'd adored Shion as if she were his own granddaughter, but she had been demoned away. I wanted to see how distressed and sad he'd look. And when I saw his face, I felt a sensation on my back, as if my skin itself was making a crackling noise. He didn't even have an expression on his face. Uncle Kimiyoshi adored me. I loved him and I thought he loved me too. That's why I expected him to be saddened after learning that I met with such a cruel fate. What was I thinking? The memory of his warm smile shattered inside of me. There was no way of describing the fear I experienced in that moment, in mere words. He had suddenly changed into someone I didn't even recognize. Uncle Kimiyoshi noticed me looking at him and spoke.
What about Keiichi Maebara?
Not yet. I had to take a deep breath to regain my composure. All four who snuck into the ritual storehouse will suffer the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Keiichi Maebara is no exception. Chilling looks, cruel looks, emotionless looks, shrewd looks, and the looks of people who were about to snap. I could feel the demons chewing my words while they stared at me with their sharp eyes. I could see some of them sticking their snake-like tongues in and out. I could see flames in some of their eyes. They were memorizing the names of the intruder the curse had yet to fall upon. And so the meeting went on. We were told not to tell the police too much, to report what they asked us, and to hold another meeting whenever something of significance happened. If something unexpected took place, we were told to get in touch with either the head of the Kimiyoshi family or the head of the Sonozaki family for instructions on what to do. With those closing remarks, the meeting was over. And so was the music.
There you go. It was a fun meeting.
It was already getting dark outside. Being in a valley surrounded by mountains, once the sun went down in Hinamizawa, it got dark quickly. Even if it was hot during the day, it had cooled down quickly at night. The elderly people said goodbye to each other and left on their bicycles, on their motorcycles, or in their cars.
More old people driving motorcycles. It's crazy. There's like a whole gang of them in here.
Uncle Kimiyoshi waved them goodbye and started to head home himself. I mean, it's not like they have to put up with city traffic out here.
You're right. Significantly less dangerous, unless you're Tepe.
Agreed. I called out to him. Kimiyoshi-san, do you have plans after this?
Uh-oh.
I called him Kimiyoshi-san instead of Uncle Kimiyoshi. He stopped.
No, I don't have anything planned.
Can you stop by my house?
Does Oryo-san want to see me?
Yes. She wants to talk to you about something in person.
Okay. I'll stop by.
Uncle Kimiyoshi arrived at the Sonozaki house. He often came to the house to have secret meetings with the hag, so he wasn't suspicious at all.
No more than usual.
I invited Uncle Kimiyoshi to the living room. I served him a cup of tea and told him I was going to fetch the hag. I left the room and killed some time down the hallway. Granny will be here after she gets dressed. She might take a little while.
Oh, that's okay. I'll just wait here.
Uncle Kimiyoshi relaxed as he sipped his cup of tea. I sat next to him. I think she wants to talk to you about Shion.
Oh.
I mentioned my name and watched for his reaction. Uncle Kimiyoshi looked so grim. I couldn't even tell if he heard me. I decided to continue speaking until he reacted in some way. You remember the incident from last year with Shion, yes? She became friendly with the people of the Hojo family.
She was forgiven after ripping out her nails, wasn't she?
Yes. 3. Uncle Kimiyoshi folded his arms and thought for a while.
Where is Shion-chan now?
In the basement.
How is she doing?
Uncle Kimiyoshi sounded worried. When I heard that, I felt relieved that Uncle Kimiyoshi was on my side. His anger in the assembly hall was just an act. She's been crying.
Ion-chan, tell me, what is Oryo-san going to do with Shion-chan?
She hasn't told me any details. As you know, Granny becomes awfully quiet when she's truly furious.
Going into the ritual storehouse. Furthermore, it's her own granddaughter. That's a tough decision to make.
Uncle Kimiyoshi thought the hag must be unsure of what to do with Shion. What do you think? Do you think will happen to Shion?
Well, I'm sure it'll be far more than just 3 nails this time. Knowing how Oreo-san is, she won't hold back just because it's her granddaughter. Actually, she might be even more harsh, especially because they're related.
Yes, she did go into the ritual storehouse. That's not something that can be forgiven so easily.
Indeed. It is sacred, after all.
But in a way, maybe it's not fair to Shion. She has been away from Hinamizawa, as you know. I'm sure she knew she wasn't supposed to trespass in the ritual storehouse. But maybe she didn't know how forbidden it was.
Yeah, that's true. Poor Shion-chan.
Other than the tattoo on my back, how would you tell the difference between Shion and me? There isn't one. There's no point in distinguishing between Mion and Shion in the first place. Twins are proof of bad luck. One should be eliminated as soon as they're born. Such is the family precept. The hag actually put her hands around my neck right after I came out of the womb. That's how the story went, at least. In the end, the hag didn't kill me, but instead pretended I didn't exist. She forced herself to call one of us Mion and the other Shion. She adored Mion and hated Shion. My sister and I never understood why we had to go through that. We didn't care who was Mion or Shion. So one day, we came up with an idea. We decided to share the joy Mion experienced and the sadness Shion experienced. We often switched places. We were both Mion, and at the same time we were both Shion. Adults around us tried to put different clothes on us or style our hair differently so they could tell us apart. That was nonsense. No matter what they did to us, all we had to do was switch places and nobody could tell us apart. Finally, they decided that we switched places because we were always together. On that day, Shion got to go to an amusement park. Since then, we've been separated.
Mion-chan.
I can't even imagine what will happen to Shion. Whatever it is Granny decides to do, I'm not in a position to say anything about it. She doesn't listen to her relatives.
You're right. That's something Oreo-san needs to work on.
I really love that, all of these just unwarranted accusations Shion is throwing out here are all being thrown back as, yeah, you're right, you know? If Shion wasn't Shion Sonozaki, she would have been dead a long time ago. I can't even begin to imagine what kind of punishment might be equal to death. Even if she isn't killed, she'll probably never see the light of day again. In other words, she'll be demoned away.
Mion-chan, does Shion-chan regret what she has done?
Yes. In response, Uncle Kimiyoshi tapped my shoulder and then slapped his own chest. He smiled reliably.
Don't worry. If Shion-chan feels bad about what she has done, she won't be demoned away. Leave it to me.
Really?
I'm sure Oreo-san will be furious to hear me say anything, but I won't give up. I'll explain to her that Shion-chan regrets what she's done, and I'll beg for her forgiveness.
Tears began to fall from my eyes. I knew it. Uncle Kimiyoshi was my ally after all. He said he would forgive Shion. He was my ally. I was so very happy. Are you sure? Are you sure she won't be demoned away like Satoshi Hojo-kun was last year. Uncle Kimiyoshi smiled reliably again and told me.
Why did you bring him up?
For fun, of course.
I love this. Alright. He was a brat of the Hojo family. This is Shion-chan of the Sonozaki family we're talking about here. Of course she'll be forgiven.
How many pages before we get the taser out, you reckon?
She's got to rant at him for a little bit, so maybe 1 or 2. I'd say 2.
Okay.
I'm putting money on it. Putting 2 points on it. What is this? This isn't a page. This is a word. Oh, God.
A brat
Alright, that's
of the Hojo family. Are you talking about Satoshi-kun? Last year's victim.
Those Hojo people, they were traitors who tried to sort the whole village. Of course he got demoned away. He was a Hojo after all. The Hojo people should all be cursed. Only people like them get demoned away. Shion-chan will be okay. It won't happen to someone like her.
Uncle, didn't Shion take care of that for Satoshi-kun last year? Wasn't he supposed to be forgiven?
Take care of that? What do you mean?
Remember, 3 nails. She removed 3 of her nails. Kasai-san, Uncle Yoshiro, and then Satoshi-kun. 3 people. She removed 3 nails for 3 people.
Oh, so that was why it was 3 nails, huh?
A what?
What?
Wasn't that the significance of those 3 nails?
Yeah, you're right. There were 3 people involved, hence the 3 nails. I heard that too, but...
Long since been 2 pages.
You know what? 5 points for Rikushi. That's fine. You can have him.
But what?
Kasai-san, Yoshiro-san, and Shion-chan. That makes 3.
Can we get that a bit bigger? I can't quite read it.
I know, I'm squinting.
What?
Huh? A what?
A woo?
I endured excruciating pain. The first one was my left pinky, then the ring finger, and then the middle finger. People held me down so I couldn't move, but I endured. I had to endure 3 nails. I didn't know which nail was for Satoshi-kun. If my middle finger was for Satoshi-kun, I'd have to endure until the middle finger was done so that Satoshi-kun would be forgiven. That was why I endured. Even Mion said afterwards, everything was forgiven. Mion, didn't you say Satoshi-kun was forgiven? Didn't you? That's what I heard. I think that's what I heard. Or did I? Huh? I felt the air move. There shouldn't have been a breeze in that room, but I felt it anyway. The cool air stroked the back of my neck. That was when my true self stood right behind me and nodded. Although there was no wind, my hair billowed. The burning wickedness buried deep inside my eyes became visible. Why do you think Satoshi Hojo-kun got demoned away?
Huh?
Satoshi-kun's parents did in fact try to sell out the village. They deserved the curse of Oyashiro-sama, but Satoshi-kun was simply their son. What has he done?
Mion-chan.
I'm asking you, what kind of crimes Satoshi-kun committed? You said earlier that he deserved to be demoned away because he was born of the Hojo family. What has he done to deserve being demoned away? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say to the sudden question. He seemed dismayed. I didn't hear her say it, but I know. It was Oryo Sonozaki's decision. She decided that the curse of Oyashiro-sama would fall upon all the Hojos.
Wait, Mion-chan, that's not true.
Didn't she decide that?
No, she didn't. The curse of Oyashiro-sama falling upon the Hojo family. I do remember talking about something like that, but we never decided that. Nobody did.
Then why did you say? Because he was one of the Hojos earlier.
Sorry, Mion-chan. That was... I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
That's just it. Anything that happens to the Hojo family is the curse. As long as someone has the Hojo name, nobody cares about what happens to that person. That idea has spread like a virus among all the villagers. Doesn't matter if Satoshi-kun did anything or not, because he was a Hojo, he was filthy. That infection of an idea is the entire problem. And you all believed in that idea. You couldn't even think straight anymore. I can't forgive you. I can't let someone like you exist. People like you cornered Satoshi-kun and his family. Poor Satoshi-kun. What has he done? He hasn't done anything. He was a Hojo, that's all. What kind of a crime is that? Why did the curse fall upon him? What kind of crime has he committed?
Oh! So I give that sound effect
I noticed this doesn't say
What?
Uncle Kimiyoshi.
Kimiyoshi's upper body bent backward and fell onto the floor.
Oh my goodness, you're just stealing the narration.
That was that. I put my stun gun back in my pocket.
I guess you. Why did you take it then?
Because we go on full demon mode. And I guess I'm going to take that narration from you now.
I guess.
At least for a little bit.
You're my demon then.
I am your demon.
Sorry.
Sorry, Shion, what was that you just said?
Apparently Takano-san and Tomataki-san
Flash.
died last night. Takano-san was found burned to death. Tomataki-san was...
Flash.
Well, it looked like a suicide. I found out this morning. I heard my father talking to a relative on the phone about it. As I had thought, Keiichi didn't know anything about what happened after the festival last night. Of course, it's not getting reported by the media. That's how it was in the past, too. Keiichi insisted that unless he heard about it on the news, it couldn't be real, but the investigations into the series of mysterious deaths are done in secret now. Of course he didn't hear about it on the news. I heard the mayor and several important politicians from the Sonozaki family put all the pressure they could on the police.
And you mean their deaths are going to be dealt with in total secrecy?
That's how it is. Of course the police are still investigating. It's being performed in secret too, though, so I hear the investigation itself is very restricted in what it can and can't do. You could essentially say they're interfering with the police investigation.
I can't believe this. People died and yet they're dealing with everything in secret.
If we break it down further, it means that no matter who dies on the night of the Watanagashi, it won't go public.
That's the biggest pile of bullshit I've ever heard.
Damn straight.
Okay-chan, remember how I said before that the villagers could be the ones carrying out Oyashiro-sama's curse? That's what I mean. At some point a tradition was created here in Hinamizawa, where every year you're allowed to kill someone on the night of Watanagashi. Yes, it's the truth about the series of mysterious deaths in Hinamizawa known as Oyashiro-sama's curse. On the day of the Watanagashi, 2 people will be killed. The perpetrators are using the curse of Oyashiro-sama as an excuse to kill one victim and make another disappear. That's why the curse of Oyashiro-sama takes place. That's what happens in Hinamizawa, and that's what happens with the curse. What Kimiyoshi said is all true. Infecting everyone with the idea that the enemy from the damned conflict deserved to die was the root of all this. That was the system of vague commands used in the Sonozaki family, created by its head, Oreo. One thing that must be mentioned about that command system is that the person giving the orders and the one executing them didn't need to interact in any way. Though Oreo was the commander, she never gave actual orders. She only had to expect something to happen. Every single one of the family council members around her would want to satisfy that expectation if given the chance. They didn't have to be proactive about satisfying it. They could be passive too. But when the chance arose, anyone who knew Oreo's intentions could potentially become the one to execute her orders. Therefore, Oreo would never know who actually executed her order, and none of the relatives knew either. But they all knew things would conclude just as Oreo wanted, and they could assume it was one of their own who did it for her. This passive support system was thoroughly effective, and it spread all over the village. Its ties became even tighter after the dam conflict. Anyone could be the one to execute Orio's orders. Therefore, everyone supported each other. If someone did something, then the others would try to satisfy Orio's expectation in different ways. For example, they'd come up with false evidence or otherwise passively interfere with an investigation. Even if they didn't know exactly who they were protecting, they'd still work together to protect whoever it was. Yes. I'd finally figured out how it all worked. Phrased in a more organized manner, it would go as follows. The system of killing 2 people who are unwanted by the village each year requires 3 elements.
Ooh, here we go.
The first element was a region of solidarity. It was created during the long and unique history of Hinamizawa. The village's bonds became even tighter during the dam conflict. It was one of the conditions for this place to have a curse. It was an element that was already in the region, not one that could be created. The next element was having the same moral standards. This was a very important element, as the curse wouldn't have happened without it. Also, this element was created by Ario Sonozaki herself, and that was why she could claim that this system was established by her own will. Having the same moral standards means everyone, everywhere, acknowledges the same enemy. Even when everyone in the village is joined together, it would be meaningless if they all didn't know exactly who the enemy was. During the dam conflict, Ario Sonozaki made the identity of the enemy very clear to everyone. They couldn't just say that they were against the dam construction and that the government was their enemy. That wasn't clear enough. The government didn't really pinpoint who the enemy was. But Ario made some enemies out of the construction site itself, and therefore its manager. She chose targets the villagers could see within their own eyes. They were clear and easy to understand. The villagers acknowledged that everyone at the dam construction site was their enemy, and that construction site manager was the enemy commander. Using the same method, she labeled one after another as an enemy of the village, practically cataloging a list of enemies to print into the villagers' minds. Earlier, I'd used the term infecting for this phenomenon. I was infected by this idea where the people unconsciously giving the orders to commit murder. When the infection spread across the village, when all of Hinamizawa's residents acknowledged the same enemy, that's when Hinamizawa itself became a murderer.
Dude, this sounds like aliens.
I know.
It's like an alien hive mind shit. This is great.
It's very peculiar.
Let's go.
Ario combined those 2 elements, the solidarity region and having the same moral standards, then selected the enemy and spread that notion throughout the village. The law would normally have punished both the one who committed the crime and the one who gave the order. But Ario's system didn't require an order at all. Ario just had to become concerned about the enemy she had pre-selected. But that alone wouldn't cause the curse to take place. Ario's concern was like a safety device, and even when the safety device was off, the curse wouldn't occur unless there was a finger to pull the trigger. The last necessary element was to set a date for their execution, the night of Watanagashi. The night to venerate Oyashiro-sama, the guardian deity of Hinamizawa. On that night, the curse of Oyashiro-sama falls upon the 2 enemies of the village and they disappear. Everyone in the village acknowledged that as fact. In other words, if the same incident took place on any other of the 364 nights of the year, it would be nothing other than a murder case. But if it happened on the night of the Watanagashi, then it would transform into the curse of Oyashiro-sama. The idea that villagers are allowed to kill their enemies on the night of Watanagashi had infected them. The villagers were the cells of this huge creature called Hinamizawa, and each cell would be taught who the enemy was. The set date was basically a green light for whoever was in the best position to kill the enemy. That was the truth of the curse of Oyashiro-sama. Therefore, the one who actually killed Satoshi-kun isn't my enemy. The one who set up this murder system and the one who named Satoshi-kun's family as the enemy is my enemy. To use a broader definition, Hinamizawa itself and the very system of Oyashiro-sama's curse is my enemy. I already killed the hag, the one who designed the system. Kimiyoshi, the one whose job it was to infect the villages with the system, was already in my hands. I just had to find out who else was involved and how much. It was like pulling a weed while being very careful not to break the roots. I announced that Keiichi Maebara was one of the people who snuck into the shrine storage. I was certain that fact had already spread throughout the underside of the village. In other words, Keiichi Maebara was an object of the curse of Oyashiro-sama now. Takano-san and Tomotaki-san were found dead, having been killed in gruesome ways. That was the curse of Oyashiro-sama. In that case, they could demon away 2 more people as sacrifices to calm the anger of Oyashiro-sama. The set date for the curse was already over. But just like what happened to Sadashi-kun, demoning away was allowed a little extra time. Something would happen to Keiichi Maebara within a few days. I'd wait patiently, careful not to let my enemies simply take I'd wait patiently, careful not to let my enemies simply take Keiichi Maebara, my bait. Keiichi had been yelling on the other end of the phone for some time. He kept yelling he didn't want to go into the ritual storehouse to begin with. He claimed he was simply invited by Takano-san and me. We shouldn't be in danger because of that, he said. He was feeling a sense of crisis and tension.
Good thing we left him with that.
This was going to work. The livelier the bait, the easier it is to spot.
Why the hell did you do that? I didn't have anything to do with this. What will you do? What are you gonna do, damn it? How are you gonna take responsibility for this? Huh? Hey, are you listening?
Shut up, I've heard enough of your pitiful tears. I hung up the phone.
Wow.
There was no point in talking to him when he got like that.
Fucking rude.
Besides, I had already achieved my goal, which was to make him realize the danger awaiting him. I took a deep breath, then called the house of the village chief.
Hello, Kimiyoshi residents.
This is Sonozaki. So, did you find the mayor?
Oh, it's you, Mion-chan. We've been calling everyone, but no luck. We can't find him. I don't know who else to call. I wonder where he is.
We've called a few places too, but nothing. I talked to Granny and she says we should have the youth group look for him.
At this time of day. Besides, we aren't even sure if he's really missing.
It's right after Watanagishi. She just thinks we should be cautious. If the youth group can't find him, then we should call the police first thing in the morning. We'd rather not get the police involved unless we really have to, though.
Did Ori-san say that?
Yes. If you don't believe me, I'll have her get on the phone.
Oh, no. I understand. Okay, we'll gather the youth group and look for him. If they can't find him, we'll call the police in the morning.
Please call the leader of the youth group, then. I'll be right over in Granny's place.
Thank you. I'll get everyone together right away.
Okay. See you later. The youth group had gathered at the Furude Shrine. They were going to try and find the mayor. I also had to go in the absence of the hag. Just to be mean, I stopped by the underground torture room to let the mayor know that I was headed to the Furude Shrine to search for him. Incidentally, according to the tab on the keychain, this underground torture room was actually called the Underground Storehouse for Ritual Implements. This was the man who was yelling that whoever trespasses on the ritual storehouse should be killed. Although it was an underground ritual storehouse, he was there now, atoning for what he had done. It was pretty ironic. Maybe I was the only one who felt that way, though. How are you doing, Uncle Kimiyoshi?
Clink.
Kimiyoshi didn't say a word, but he made a noise with the chain. Everyone is making such a fuss because they can't find you. Your family called me, so I suggested they gather the youth group to look for you. I'm heading over there now. Was this mean or what? Kimiyoshi could only make noises with the chain. He couldn't even express any emotion other than anguish. Is the chain too short? Why don't I make it longer every time you give me an answer to a question? If it's even a little longer, you'll feel better.
Oh.
Kimiyoshi's hands were tied behind his back with a tight wire. He was wearing a leather collar with a chain, which was strapped tightly around his neck, too. The collar's chain was on a pulley attached to the ceiling, with the chain pulling him up toward it. That chain was very short and pulled very tight. Kimiyoshi had to stand up on tiptoes to be able to breathe. He'd been like that for almost an hour already. He was already exhausted. If I left him overnight, he'd probably end up hanging himself. You told me earlier that you didn't know, but I'll ask you one more time. Please tell me anything you know about Sadashi Hojo-kun.
Oh.
Sorry. Can't even talk, can you? I'll loosen the chain a little while we chat, then. I turned the pulley just a little to loosen the chain that was pulling on his neck. Kimiyoshi's heels finally touched the ground, relieving the pressure on his muscles.
I really don't know, Shion-chan. I really don't.
Don't you even know if he's dead or alive?
I really don't know anything.
Well, I guess that's how the curse system of Hinamizawa works. It's possible you really don't know anything. Okay, then I'll change the question. As the head of the Kimiyoshi family, I'd like you to tell me what you think has happened to Satoshi-kun. Is Satoshi-kun dead or alive? Kimiyoshi didn't know what to say. If he said he didn't know, I'd tighten the chain and leave the room. That would be like a death sentence for him. But all I said was that I wanted him to speak as the head of the Kimiyoshi family. I didn't ask him to tell the truth, but he didn't know what to say to avoid souring my mood and to get me to loosen the chains around him. He was obviously trying to figure out how to make me extend the chain.
I've heard a rumor that he may be alive.
Ah, about him going to Tokyo on a bullet train, right?
The police have seen him in Tokyo, or something like that.
Uishi had told me that Satoshi-kun had been witness getting a bullet train heading to Tokyo at Nagoya Station. But the police didn't know if that really happened or what became of Satoshi-kun after that. Therefore, this was simply a random assertion of Kimiyoshi's. Hey, head of the Kimiyoshi family, what would be the point in letting one of the cursed family members live after going through the trouble of making him disappear? I don't think there's any reason for that. Besides, who gave you this information? I was in close contact with Uishi for a while, but he never mentioned it to me. Uncle, if you're just saying that to make me happy, it's not going to work. You know that, don't you? I reached for the pulley controlling the chains around Kimiyoshi, and that act alone sent him panicking as he feared them tightening once more.
Sorry, I'm not trying to make you angry, Shion-chan. I'm sorry.
I don't have time for this. I'm simply asking you to help me look for Satoshi-kun. That's all.
I know that. I'll answer you.
I took my hand off the pulley. Seeing that, Kimiyoshi began making loud groaning noises to try and show he was thinking hard. Be frank with me. Do you think he is alive or dead?
I think you shouldn't think he is alive.
That figures. There was no point in letting him live, right? I agree with you. I really didn't mean anything too deep by it, but what I said truly scared Kimiyoshi. The police think he ran, using the money he saved to buy Sadako's birthday present, because he was the main suspect of his aunt's murder. What do you think about that?
Well, I heard that the culprit was some kind of drug addict.
What do you think about that? Maybe I shouldn't say this, but I believe Satoshi-kun is the culprit. The drug addict was probably a decoy the hag arranged.
I've suspected as much. That guy appeared out of nowhere. I didn't understand it at the time.
So he was a decoy?
I'm pretty sure.
Why do you think that, though?
The police were investigating the case, and Satoshi-kun was their primary suspect, wasn't he? If he was going to be demoned away, she didn't want the police to continue the investigation, I guess.
What Kimiyoshi just said is very interesting. He's perfectly correct. If the police continued their investigation, it would complicate things for whoever demoned away Satoshi-kun. Therefore, the hag came up with a decoy in order to bring an end to the investigation. But fabricating a suspect can't be that easy, don't you agree?
The only person who can do things like that is Oreo-san.
I knew the hag was very powerful in the underside of Hinamizawa, but I never knew she was that powerful.
I'm sure you've heard quite a few rumors during the dam conflict. Didn't you also hear things directly?
During the dam protests, I actually saw them issuing orders to my relatives, like destroy their heavy machinery, or can we set up a checkpoint to blockade their construction vehicles? They set free their comrades from the police by coming up with alibis, destroying or forging evidence. I'd seen relatives do those things, as well as the hag calling in counselors to the house to protest. As a child, I was pretty impressed. But when I thought back, it was more than that. She was truly the mastermind who controlled the underside of the world.
You've heard about the kidnapping case of the grandson of the Minister of Construction, right?
So it was really a kidnapping, huh? I heard the grandson was demoned away and then found in the middle of the mountains in Takatsudo or Yagochi.
That was at Oryo-san's command. The minister promised to stop the dam construction, and the grandson was released. All of the top people in the Asgardians know that.
I guess I was right in the middle of it when it was happening, but I didn't notice. The hag, the three families, and the ex-guardians are truly magnificent, huh? How terrifying. Kiyoshi finally realized the situation he was in, and he was answering my questions. That made me happy, but the more Kiyoshi told me the truth, the more I realized Satoshi-kun really was dead. That made me very sad. Who actually demoned away Satoshi-kun?
I don't know. We were never to ask who actually executed Oryo-san's orders.
He was right. That was how the system worked, and so that was a bad question. Whoever it was did a great job, because his body hasn't been found. That's not easy.
Putting aside who actually killed him, it is possible Oryo-san has helped to get rid of the body. You know about that well. Farther down here, the one used to dump bodies, don't you?
Yes, I do. It's a lot safer to dump a body in the well than it is to bury it somewhere in the mountains. Whoever disappears becomes a sacrifice to calm the anger of Oyashiro-sama. That was the rule of this game. Therefore, the bodies must never be discovered. That's why the bodies had to be dumped somewhere nobody could find them. It's very possible the well was used for that. Then, Satoshi-kun is at the bottom of that well. I grabbed a flashlight and headed to the huge cave with all the cells. As I turned on the lights in the cave, Mion noticed me and gave a worried look. I ignored her and headed to the cell in the back. I was still very impressed by how well the well was hidden. It was almost artistic. I shone the flashlight at the bottom of the well. I had no way of knowing how deep the well was. The light of the flashlight wasn't strong enough to reach the bottom. I inhaled, then screamed into the well. Satoshi-kun! Satoshi-kun! As though he's been alive after a year down a fucking hole.
Dude, maybe they were feeding him down there. Maybe he's eating the corpses, he'd become a mole person.
His name echoed again and again. It was obviously a very deep well. I thought of climbing down using the wedges on the wall, but with the flashlight hanging from my neck, I couldn't light my footing properly. And even if there was enough lighting, you see this is where they establish how someone fell down at the end of Arc 2. It's very sneaky post-shadowing.
There you go, post-shadowing! Is there a tally for that somewhere? Someone's going to be tracking how much post-shadowing there is.
Oh, it'd just be... so much wouldn't even be worth tracking.
But it'd be impressive to see an entire wall just carved, tally after tally, hundreds of thousands of post-shadows.
You're absolutely right.
And they'd make little shadows in the wall and it'd be like symbolism and shit.
It's beautiful.
Oh, I'm so glad that the tension is relieved and we can joke again.
I didn't even know if the wedges were sturdy enough.
Ah, shit.
Be like committing a suicide. Satoshi-kun was at the bottom of this well. That's when I felt it. A warm hand rubbed my head. For sure.
Shion, you finally found me.
Sounds like a load of shit to me. Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun, Satoshi-kun! I've been looking for you for so long. I'm sorry I couldn't find you while you were still alive. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault, Shion. There was nothing you could have done before I was killed. But you did everything you could do after I was dead.
Satoshi-kun, I want to join you. I'm coming right now. I'm going to jump, so please catch me.
No.
Satoshi-kun smiled bitterly. I was saddened to see him reject me.
Shion, I'm happy that you found me. But you're alive, Shion. It's so important to be alive. You can't waste it.
If you aren't here, I don't want to live. I want to be with you, Satoshi-kun. want to be close to you. I want you to rub my head again. I want to spend time with you. I'll be a good girl. I want to be with you.
Live.
Do I have to?
Live. And enjoy your life, okay?
What's so fun about living alone?
You'll find out, so long as you're alive.
To live. I'll live. I will live. The airy well now felt warm. I wasn't allowed to go down to the bottom, but the edge of this well was the place where you and I could meet. It's just a long, dark screen.
There you go.
Still there. There we go.
We made it through that touching scene.
Mion. Sadajikon, I found him. He's at the bottom of the well, isn't he? I think so. I can't think of anywhere else he'd be. Mion started to sob. You weren't there when Sadajikun was killed, were you? No. If you were there, would you have begged the hag to forgive him? Yes. I would have begged her to let him live. Liar. What? You liar! On that day a year ago, I just recalled how cruel Mion was then, when she forced me to rip out my nails acting in her role as the successor. Even if she was there when Sadashikun was killed, she wouldn't have stopped being the successor. Sadashikun was brought to the torture room when he saw Mion. I'm sure he thought she would save him. Even as he heard the family had reached out his death sentence, I'm sure he looked at Mion and believed that she would save him. He believed Mion was acting that way only because she was with her relatives. He believed she would help him, but she didn't do anything. He was strapped to a restraining device, yet she still wouldn't do anything. Mion was cruel. Mion, isn't it about time to help me? I see, I get it. You're with the rest of the family members, so you can't even show a hint of compassion. That sucks. Help him! Help him! Why didn't you help him? You saw him looking at you begging to help, didn't you? Why didn't you help him? Even when he was going through a rough time because of his awful aunt, you didn't help him. You pretended to sympathize, but you didn't help him. You ignored him. He was cornered because you didn't help him. I tried to support him. Even when you didn't protect him from killing his aunt, I did. I sacrificed myself to fight for him. 3 nails were nothing. But it wasn't enough to rescue Sadashikun. I couldn't help him. Do you know why? Because I was Shion then. As Shion, I was kept away from Inamizawa, and nobody told me anything. I couldn't know anything. But you were different. You were Mion. You were right in the middle of everything, and you knew everything, and everyone told you everything. If I were you, I could have helped Sadashikun. I would have. But you were Mion. Give it back, Mion. That name isn't just yours. It's mine too. Besides, it was mine to begin with, remember? I just let you be Mion, remember? It was mine. Give it back to me. Give me my name back. I can't stand you even look like Mion. If I were Mion, then I kicked the bars. I kicked them again and again. Mion curled up fearfully in the back of the cell, as if she were trying to prevent the bars from crashing down onto her.
Well, there you go. We've had it explained to us.
We did it!
As to why Mion accepted being called Shion by Shion in Arc 2.
Yeah.
We've done it. We've saved
the arc. We've learned everything.
It was cool. I like
nice.
I like the way that was like really quietly dropped in there, just as kind of a line at the end, and left you hanging on it.
Yeah, that's that like thing of I just let you be Mion back in the day.
Yeah.
That's not in the anime apparently.
It feels so casually drawn. I mean, casual is the wrong word for that scene, but like
It doesn't.
It's just part of the scene,
It
right?
doesn't feel like Ryukishi's grabbed his metaphorical
And
baseball
you shove it
bat
down your throat. Yeah.
swung it at your head.
Yeah, it's good. Alrighty. Notebook!
After that, I joined the youth group in the search for Kimiyoshi. I went down to the town council's phone directory and called to see if he had visited, and then had the group split according to the circular notice divisions and sent them to search the town. Everybody seemed to be assuming they wouldn't find him, but since I knew they definitely never would, it was just bothersome to me. Even after midnight, they were all still enthusiastically looking for him. I bore the sleepiness while yawning, and I heard somebody whisper.
Last thing, we did the same thing when Satoshi Hojoku went missing.
The youth group was looking for someone who would never be found, just like last year. I was yawning because I knew this. Last year, there must also have been some people who were yawning and grinning on the inside.
Just like me, but... When did we stop searching last year, do you remember? When Satoshi Hojoku was missing. Oh, what time was it? I guess that was around midnight.
It was already 2 a.m. Although they spent this much time searching for Kimiyoshi, they didn't do the same when Satoshi went missing. After all, some people knew they wouldn't find him. They must have been sleepy. They must have said they should leave it to the police. Shit. I want to kill the people who said that.
Cool.
Nice quick tip
Yay!
to remind
we did
you
it.
that Shion is sane.
Shion is a sane girl and not very dangerous, and she's all girly and stuff, and that's like her thing, right?
Indeed.
Yeah, it's fun.
Next time.
Next time.